What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Imperfect. And before we dive into it, I want to give a shout out to our first Patreon member, Jason Vesser from the Vesser Bunch. Thank you so much, Jason, for being a part of our Patreon crew. If you guys want to learn more or see more about our Patreon and be more a part of our show Imperfect, check out the link in the description below. I got an awesome guest. I got Miss Cali on set. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful. It's a wonderful time.
Good. I'm happy to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I got a lot of topics for you, a lot of questions, a lot of things. We're going to dive in. It's going to be fun. So no stress.
I'm here to answer it.
Heck yeah. So obviously this is Cali, Miss Cali. We can call her Miss Cali. Cali, she likes both, so we're going to be talking about both. Cali, I want to dive in to the big overall question of what is a drag queen? Like, what is drag?
Wow. Do you have a couple hours? Or?
A couple.
What is a drag? What is drag? Drag is self-expression that kind of messes with gender and comments on culture in so many different ways. It makes it a really difficult question to answer because, like, I feel like everybody's drags is different. Like, their style of performing is different, and mine is today someone who didn't want to put on a dress because she didn't want to shave her armpits. So that's my drag.
I love it.
If that tells you anything, I don't know.
I love it, yo. No, I love it. It's just like someone coming up to you and it's like, what is dance? And
Yeah.
you're just like, what?
How do you do that? Yeah, no, it's those people that are dressed up and wearing way too much makeup and going around and giving you a good time. And if you have $1, give it to them because they're happy about it.
Heck yeah, I love it. Yeah, so drag, it's like how long does it take you to get in full drag makeup and outfit?
Oh, man. It really depends on my mood.
Really?
I mean, I've done it in like 2 hours, full, shower to heels. And I've taken my time, and sometimes that's when it's a little bit better.
Right.
I was on the news, and I had to just kind of like rush home from work, and so I could, I got off at 3:30, had to be on the news at 5:30, and somehow by the grace of God, I was, had a donut in my head and everything, but
Right. You made
it's
it.
not always like that.
Right. You pulled up. You did it. You pulled up. That's cool. So what got you interested in drag? Like, what made you kind of become aware of it? What was like, maybe let me ask you this. What was the first time you like started doing drag?
That's a good question. So I was in this show that it was here in Pocatello called Little Shop of Horrors, and I was one of like the doo-wop girls, and I that's not supposed to be played by a drag queen, but like they're like, oh, she's good. So that's like the first time that I like put on a wig and like did stuff. It was like a theater aspect. It was very difficult because I was nervous about it because I wanted to look good, and
Right.
I don't really look like a girl most of the time. So that was a lot. I think for me, the whole concept of drag was like having done theater and performed and dressed up all my life. It was just kind of nice foray into this art style. Also, I'm pretty gay, so it just seemed like I was connecting to my roots, whatever that is.
Right. Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, because like I said, I want to bring you on to learn about drag. And so when I was reading online, I was reading that drag is a part of the gay culture. It's a big part of gay culture. What I was reading online, but it said it wasn't common that, just like it's pretty open. It's pretty diverse. And I love that statement you said about drag because it's not just, this whole thing like anybody can do it. Like anybody can dance. Like it's a culture you can be a part of. And so I like just to ask you, even like around here, have you met or seen any single men that do drag? Like
single men that I'm
not single. Sorry.
Like straight men.
Straight men, not single.
Not here. I don't think people are here are open enough with themselves to be able to do that. However, as far as drag expression goes, I feel like the singular image that people have is of a drag queen. And I think that, my drag kind of meets that in a lot of ways. But there's also drag kings. There's also, I guess I do know a straight man who does drag, but he does it like as a guy.
Oh, interesting.
Now that I'm thinking about it. His name's Buster Hyman.
Nice. I like it.
So
Buster Hyman.
Yeah. And Yeah, no, it's just like one of those things. I know like women who do femme drag. I know, like men who do masculine drag. I know women who do masculine drag. I know a lot of people who do a lot of stuff that's a mix of the two, and it's
Right.
just really interesting to watch people's interpretations of like what gender is to them and how that relates to their identities and also to outer
Right.
culture.
I love that a lot. So you're saying that you can even see men do drag, but as a like dressed as male,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
As
yeah.
an average, what would?
You have. I think this is my personal belief that if you're gonna be someone like if you're a cis person, like someone who was identifies as the gender that you were assigned as birth, or even or like presenting as that gender and then doing that in drag, I think that you really need to step it up.
Right.
To as far as like a costume and makeup goes, and my friend Buster, for instance, he like was very into like glitter beards and like doing like cool makeup looks.
Oh, interesting.
Just for Halloween, he did. Gosh, who was the what is that show with
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa? No. It's the horror show where he like has the claw and he's like gonna grab her pussy and all this type of stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It
Nightmare
sounds
on
familiar.
Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
That guy,
Yeah.
he dressed up as. Gosh darn it, I can't think of anything.
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger?
Krueger. He dressed up as Freddy Krueger.
Got
Did all
it.
that kind of makeup. Anyway, so but it's like it's like a heightened experience of gender
Interesting.
in the flesh.
In the flesh. I love that. That's like super interesting to kind of even. I've never seen that, even heard that. So
Yeah.
But like I said, lots of questions. Very unknown, and wanting to learn more about the community, this culture. As like I was a dancer for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was around makeup, theater, dance, just so much of things. So you open up to this culture thing, and when I saw it, my first thing is like, what is it? I'm saying I need to make my way down to Charlie's because I heard they have some of the best shows around
They
here.
do, yeah. They're doing just lots and lots of drag, and I feel like, the way you get good drag is by constantly fostering that community, and I feel like people
They're
are
on
really, really showing up nowadays.
Heck yeah. Yeah, because I see videos, like I said, a couple people we know in common. I just see videos on Facebook, and it's just like normally a packed room, and I'm like, this must be popping.
It's nice.
That's awesome. That is super cool. That's awesome to learn how you got into drag and how you kind of got involved with it. But like, really, what made you like take it to the next level to be like go perform with it more? And
I just feel like it's a good opportunity to do a lot of different things. I think people just are more interested in me if I have a full face of makeup on. I think that's true. And not to say that they're not interested in me when I'm like a boy or whatever, but I can do a lot of singing gigs. There's just like there's more performance opportunities when I'm a drag queen. There's more things that I can wear. There's more things that I can comment on. There's more things. I mean, I don't know. Like, for instance, with reading time, I don't know how interested people would be if it was just me, one 24-year-old homosexual with no children of his own.
Right.
Like, just reading to children at the library. The interesting part is that I'm dressed up as like Maria von Trapp or a big pink monster reminiscent of Sully, or what else have people said about me. I don't know.
No, you're good. No, and let's just jump into that. So the whole reading with kids. So explain like what an average day of reading with the kids at our local library is.
Like my average day, or just like a program?
Yeah, like your average day when you show up.
Oh yeah. Well, I wake up too early and put on makeup and an outfit. We usually have like a theme that we're doing. Like this last one, it was called Monsters in Love, and so we dressed up like monsters and like read books about monsters in love. I don't know.
Right.
It was like a Valentine's theme thing, and learned about kind of love and what that looks like to some people. But it's not. I don't think that like. It wasn't like too hard hitting. It's like, now here's my lecture about love and like what that means. Like, it was just like, look at these monsters and this is why I like this book. Right. But like they come in and they do a craft, and then I greet them. I'm like, hey, you can do the craft. You can come sit down. And then, I like sing a song to start it off. We do a book. I sing another song. Sometimes I have like a guest performer. They like sing with me, or like they do another book and then sing another song and it's done. And then I give them a sticker, and then I give them. And then I do like a reading program, and if they come back and tell me about a book that they read, then they get like like
That's
a toy,
amazing.
like a toy from the dollar store that I bought. And
That's awesome, though.
hopefully incentivize.
But to them, they're like, yo, a toy,
Yeah.
like
And
even it's a dollar or two, but they're like, yo, I'll read this book.
but it's like an experience for kids and their families to see a very tall woman reading to them.
Exactly. So, like, what got you interested? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to be a part of this program or start this program?
I saw the concept. I did not come up with this concept.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right. So they started doing these kind of nationally. I think her name is Michelle T, who came up with this idea, and we're all better off for it. You know, like a reading program is really cool, but like if you have like a big magical creature doing it, that's
interesting.
It makes it more interesting for the kids. Plus, you know, it's not like we're gonna sit there and like I said, lecture or anything, but there is something really powerful about having a drag queen who is part of this kind of this subculture that people don't really like to address. Them like being able to like share a part of themselves with families. That's really cool. But I like recognized the power of that, and when I was a title holder for, gosh, I was Youth Miss Southeastern Idaho Gay Pride 2016 through 2017. And I used that as an excuse to like, you know, be like, hey, library, can we like use your space so we can like read to kids? And it was really well received the first time. And
that's amazing. So how long have you been doing it?
So we did it that first time in 2017 in June, and then I did a couple more months after that. They kind of did another one in September and then stopped. I moved to Oregon. Then when I moved back in March, I started preparing ones so we could start doing them again. Awesome. I did one oh goodness.
You're good.
I did one I'm talking with my hands. I did one at the Pride Festival in June, and then in July we started back up at the library almost monthly. I missed October, which is really sad because it's Halloween.
Right.
But we kept doing it from then, and then this month was the month that everyone decided to lose their shit.
Yeah, and jump up on it, which we'll get into. But so like you do it only once a month?
Yeah, I couldn't possibly do more.
Right.
It's like it's a lot of work.
It is. I just like reading it online and all the stuff that's come out. It looks like a lot of work. But first off, I got to commend you for even making the opportunity to do this, because this is one of the biggest things I'll say now, and I'll probably say it again, is the fact that any person is taking the time to volunteer to kids is phenomenal, right? And this will lead into my next question, but I should
also say real quick, I'm not the only one that started it. My friend Zay.
Okay, shout him out.
Yeah,
who is
my friend Zay Nagahide, she started this with me, and also my friend Marina Zakonia, she started this with me too. And then Zay and I have kind of just been like working on it together. And then my friend, we'll call her Miss Barb, is like doing other crafts. I have a lot of people that are helping me.
Okay, cool.
And I feel like I need to mention that because whenever I do, like no one listens. Like I cannot do this by myself.
Right.
Anyways, I have lots of help.
It seems like a lot of work. Well, shout out to all of them and you, all of you guys, everybody that is taking the time out of their day to go and read to children once a month. Right. I can't even tell you the last time I got up out of my own life and volunteered my time at something. Maybe something on campus, but to go out and make time and, like you said, plan, prep, work with your friends. That's all extra time that you don't count. It's not just showing up to the library. You got to prep.
It's worth it though.
It is worth it.
Kids are the future.
They are, and I love that you're doing it. So my question to you would be, I know you mentioned it's interesting. Like, it is interesting, obviously. Like, it's just like, wait, what's happening? Because people are unaware. They don't really know the culture, especially in a place like around here. But what makes you want to go there in full drag and do it rather than, like you said, go there just as dressed as normally and just read it?
I like it. I think it's fun. I get to plan a costume. I get to like plan a whole. It's planning a show. It's a show that I'm putting on for the kids in the afternoon. And I don't know. There's something very, like I said, powerful about like this gigantic creature that's like trying to get kids' attention.
I love it. So like, and I don't want to go too deep here, but when you're there, do you like? Because I don't, like I said, I'm new to all this, so forgive
You're fine.
my thing. But when do you identify while you're there? Like, you're like, I'm like, call me woman, I'm female type thing. Like,
yeah, I think, when I feel like it's appropriate when someone's in drag to, you have to like talk to the person themselves, but like, I prefer to be to use she her pronouns when I'm in drag, especially around the kids.
Right.
And I've never really had a moment where I've been just like, now everybody, I'm actually a man. Like that's never happened.
Okay.
I'm just like, and if someone, I do remember when I was back in Oregon, there was a kid who was like, "Are you a boy?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a ham," because I was dressed as a ham, and that's just kind of like that's where
so that way you
is.
kind of
and it's I'm not gonna, I don't know, it's like there's nothing appropriate. It's not the appropriate time for me to have that conversation with a kid,
right?
Especially without their parents involved,
right?
But like I have the right to like exist in like an amazing
1000%.
in an amazing costume and like like hand out Halloween candy to children at the store or read them books or play them ukulele, like, and you can come or not, and
right, exactly.
It's fun, and I think that if they have questions about it, then that's something that like parents need to be able to have a conversation with their kids about. But like I'm not, there's.
Right.
I'm like showing up. I'm like, this is my costume because it is. I mean, this is a costume to me, even if I'm not wearing something crazy. It's let's talk about like how people can present themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Like today, I'm presenting myself as a pink monster. Today, I'm presenting myself as a ham. Today, today I'm like a flower. I don't know.
That totally makes sense though. Like I think of like someone showing up that maybe Mel dressed up as Frozen, and they're like, we're gonna read Frozen.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it's like people cis women who just like dress up as Disney characters. Like, are you actually Elsa? I'm just like, well, yeah, she's gonna say she's Elsa. In that moment.
Like Santa Claus says, like the big Santa Claus is
it's
at the
mall.
malls.
No, I'm actually just Tina from down the block. Like that ruins the magic.
Exactly. Exactly. And I love that. I think that was one of the biggest issues because you have these two sides of should reading with the kids be allowed or should it not? And I think that was like a lot of what people were confused about was for some reason, a lot of people jumped the gun thinking that you're showing up, you're reading books that are like, this is a guy dressed up as a girl. This is why you should do this. Like, putting this pressure on this. There's just like that, so much that confusion. And I'm just like, where are people getting these ideas? Because I wasn't just, it was one thing to like read the articles, but then you just see the comments and that's what people were assuming. And I was like, this is why people are angry. So I was curious because it begged me the question. I was like, yet still, even if you were, right? Even if you were like, I'm male and I'm dressed as a female because drag, is that so bad? I questioned myself. And personally, I was like, if you have, again, like we talked before the podcast, there's two parties, right? You're consenting to be there volunteering. Parents are consenting to have them and their kids there to take the readings and things like that. And so I'm like, if you have two equal parties, what is wrong with that? Because there's no one's forcing anybody. Nobody's doing anything. If they are both willing to be there, then what is wrong with this issue?
Mm-hmm. And I agree. Well, as far as like the content of like books and things, I think it's a little more I don't want to sit here and just be like, no, I'm not telling these children to like do blah blah blah.
Right.
Because I'm not.
Yeah.
But also, let's talk about a little complex. Okay.
Right.
Things, like kids are a lot smarter than we give them credit for, and I'll tell a story. This last January, I had read this book. John Oliver had like done like a parody of this book that Charlotte Pence had put out about like their bunny, like the VP, like Mike Pence's bunny. Okay. Right. And he's like, I think that this bunny's name is great. I'm going to write my own book about this bunny. And he called it Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo. And in the book, Marlon Bundo's gay and he meets another gay bunny and they like get gay married and stuff.
That's awesome.
So that I read that book and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but like there like the last page in that book, there's like this like shared thought bubble, as like cartoon characters often have, of them like having like a baby bunny and like swinging them between their arms because that's what you do with small children.
Right.
And this kid says, and I said, I'm just like, oh look, these they're dreaming about having like a baby bunny when they get older. And this kid says, good luck with that. Like a kid.
Because he knows.
Yeah. No, because he knows.
Wow.
And because he knows how things work.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fine. I think I just turned to him and was like, adoption is an option, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. But, to sit here and just be like, oh, kids, they're so innocent. We can't, like, introduce topics of the world with them in, like, like an age-appropriate manner.
Yes.
I think that's ludicrous to me.
Yeah.
Because they already know, and it was heartening to me because I also felt like you said, like they're like parents are coming. This is like a consensual, like we're all coming together to like create a very like positive and nice experience.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean that all these kids are like on board or like understand everything about queer culture or like gay people or trans people or whatever.
Right.
Like they're part of this world too. They grow up in the world, and
exactly.
And if I can be the one to just subtly like let them have a moment where they realize that things are not exactly how they in like a very like child appropriate manner, that's a powerful moment.
Yeah, it very much is. I agree. And so like a lot of the books are all the books or a lot of the books are all like have gay messaging?
Actually rarely we do anything that's like explicitly queer. I remember one book where we read where this kid wants to like wear this orange dress to school, and the other boys make fun of him, and then he realizes that their opinion doesn't matter.
Right.
But like one of my favorite books to read is Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. Have you ever read that one?
I haven't.
He it's just basically there's like holes in the pages, and he like starts out with this overcoat, and he every single time it gets worn out, he like makes something new out of it. So it's just like, I don't know, it's like a fun book. Or like what was that, one of the other fun ones that I always read?
So you're saying like if parents wanted to bring their kids to the class, you'll already say the books that you're going to read ahead of time.
Oh yeah.
That's
totally
awesome. That's incredible.
A couple months ago, I had done this one called "Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus," and it's literally just inviting the kids to not let the pigeon drive the bus.
Really?
Like you have to yell at the book in order to make sure the pigeon doesn't drive the bus.
That's awesome.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. It's just like, I'll just read like other books that are fun.
Right.
Sing songs. I'm trying to encourage kids to like, 1, respect other people. 2, believe in themselves. And 3, respect themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And have fun.
Yes, exactly. And I love that a lot because it's when people have a different viewpoint, they tend to, I think a lot of like anger comes from fear, and it's not understanding, and which is exactly why I want to have you come on the show and talk about all this so we can dive in deep and see like, like all the details and what's going on for myself, others, everybody. But one thing like that, is different to me when you say, yeah, like we might read a gay book, what I'm saying? Like you said, it's 2 consensual parties, which is totally okay to me, because in the fact that people act like you said, kids are these very innocent, we have to keep them from the world, and some ways you can and should, and you're your own parent, you do your absolutely own thing, you raise your kid the absolutely own way you want, but got to keep in perspective that there's religions out there that get kids baptized at 7 years old. There's things that you raise your kids from a very early point that you agree with, right? Because there's people out there that don't agree that your kid being baptized at 7 years old is unnormal, not natural, blah blah blah. But other people are like, no, this is like completely normal, because they're totally unaware of each other's backgrounds, history, thoughts, comments, concerns, everything and above. And so it's like, again, when you have 2 equal parties, no one's going to go and stop that child from being, like, oh, stop the baptism. Like, no, they're not going to do that. You do your thing. You raise your kid like the way you want to raise your kid, the best way you think this kid will survive and do the greatest in this world, as will other parents. And some parents think that diversing their kids at this young of an age is a good thing, which I would agree with.
I think so too. And I on a further point, I feel like one of the things that was said to me, someone asked me, please just make sure you're keeping, kids as innocent, or like don't confuse kids if it's possible. Like try not to throw these children into confusion.
Right.
And for me, it's like I'm trying to do the exact opposite, honestly. Right. Like I do care about, like I said, kids are the future. And I was very confused when I was a kid.
Really?
I didn't know what to do. I grew up in a very religious household, and I didn't know what to make of my identity or my attraction to other boys, and why I wanted to like dress up in crazy costumes, and these are things that were around when I was, and I just feel, and I say this all the time, this is the type of program that I would have appreciated when I was a kid, and I don't have the ability to turn a kid gay or trans or whatever. Like that's just not something. Possible. I don't have that power.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want it, but I think that what people, like you said, they're angry at things that they're afraid of. I think that what they're concerned about really is that I'm going to give them the vocabulary that they need to address their identity or understand somebody else.
Right.
I think that reading time does that in a very subtle way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like here are people, and it's not just me that I'm bringing in. I'm bringing all people of different races, people of different genders, people of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like here, these people are part of your neighborhood, and these are people that you need to respect. And
Mm-hmm.
You might find something that you recognize in yourself in one of these people, and that's fine.
That's amazing.
Again, I'm not addressing it directly, but there is a subtle power in just the representation and like me being in public life and like showing kids a positive representation of that.
And I think that was one of the biggest issues about this entire thing was that it's trying to stop what's happening. And that's like a no-go. Like I said before, like I read online, there's over 5,000 religions. And so you're like, man, that's crazy, because that's 5,000 things. And then so, again, like whatever you believe is 100% okay. However you raise your kids, how you ever do these things is completely okay. Mm-hmm. But you can't stop 4,999 religions. Yeah. You can't go like, go against every single one and get everyone canceled and stopped, because when you have two equal parties, a religion that's willing to take people in and people that want to be taken in, that's okay because you have two equal parties again. Mm-hmm. But trying to stop that, that's not okay because you're trying to tell someone else to stop their lives. Like I may have my own religion, but I have all the way friends from atheism all the way up to very hardcore Mormons and everything in between too.
I love how that's that's like your spectrum right there.
Yeah, I know that's
atheism to Mormonism.
Yeah, and I know it's so much more diverse. I know it's wherever you're located. There's
but that's very Idaho of us.
Yes, it is very Idaho. But yeah, like when it comes to the world, like it's huge. Like I just learned this fact the other day. Do you know that more than half of the world does not kiss to show love or affection?
That's sad.
Isn't that crazy?
But like it's also like
isn't that crazy? Because here you're like, duh, you kiss. But other countries like that, you're sharing germs. Like that's gross. Like and
people have like different ways of of expressing affection.
They do. But my whole point is there's just so much out there. Mm-hmm. You can't. I mean, a parent wishes they could stop what they think harm is to their child. Any parent would. They want their child to grow up the best way they possibly can. Yeah. But you can't stop. So what I love about this whole thing is you are kind of in a direct but indirect way, kind of like this is what you'll see in the real world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're like you said, you're not pushing it. You're not doing anything. This is just how it is.
Right. No, that's it. that's the tea, friends.
That's the tea. Spill the tea. I love it. Well, again, shout out to all of your whole team. Yeah. People reading. It's really awesome, and I love. Like I love all the quote unquote drama that was going on. I loved the last article I read was there was people standing out front of the library welcoming you guys in.
No protesters.
That was so amazing.
I've said this, and I've said this many times. I'm going to say it now. I think that we learned as a community here in Pocatello that we're a lot kinder and nicer than we thought that we were ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I'm really proud of living in that type of community. I'm not saying that we don't have places to go. I don't say that as a state, we certainly have places to go. I mean, like right now in the state legislature, they're trying to see if they can. I mean, they can't, but well, I don't know. They're trying to make it legislate this idea that you can send doctors to jail for treating trans kids.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
It's concerning to me. And
very. They're
trying to kick trans kids out of sports programs, right now in our legislature, and I think that, I don't know, if I can put on a crazy costume on a Saturday to maybe fight against that, that's my part.
Right. I love that. And that's what I love in the show is finding a little bit of purpose in this life.
Yeah.
Outside, because we're all in here for number one. We're all trying to take care of ourselves, live a good life, make good income, try to eat, trying to eat. But, at the same time, if you can give back a purpose to the community, your friends, your family, giving back that love. And that's what I'm saying again. And I ask anybody watching this, hearing this is, when was the last time you legitimately volunteered? Mm-hmm. It's hard, and I hate to admit it, but like I said, I haven't done it in a long time.
Thing to do. Yeah.
It is a great thing.
I luckily found a way to do it that I really, really quite like, but
it's fun but helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've done it. I'm not saying I haven't done it, but I'm not the raking leaves type of.
Right,
person all the time.
Right, but yeah, finding some way, because I'm a filmmaker. It wouldn't hurt for me to be a tutor in the filmmaking classes, you know, and help other students that are trying to learn, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, just find whatever your niche is in life, whatever you've learned, which is, again, why I love this show, is because we all experience these things in different ways. So bringing them on a platform people can learn from other people's backgrounds, communities, thoughts, ideas, genders, cultures, religions, like, because there's just so much to unpack. So, I mean, on the show, just the diversity in the guest we've had, you know, and so, and it's like, it's crazy just to, like, open up the mind again. Like, your kids are growing up in this world, if you like it or not. So, you know, you'll raise your kid again, but in my personal opinion, it's like, diverse them. Let them know, you know.
Take them to reading time.
Take them to reading time. Yeah, when is that? Do we have, like, a certain day of the month?
Yeah,
or what?
I have a whole schedule. The next one's on the 21st of March, and I have not... We usually have done them at, like, 11:30.
Got you.
But
21st
we had
of March.
so many kids show up that we had to do 2 sessions in 2 hours. Yeah.
How many kids?
So the room can hold 75 people.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't get like a full count of the kids, but like there were, you know, we had 150 people in that room every single time, and then I had to turn people away, and it broke my heart. What? Like, I don't want to, like, turn kids, like, if they're standing in line to see drag queens at the library, I don't have to just be like, I can take a picture with you, and here's a sticker, but you gotta go. Like, that's terrible. I don't like it.
I know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
no,
crazy.
so we're going to probably do 2. I don't know.
We'll get there.
We're going to do 2.
Well, it's growing, and I love that. And you got a team with you, so, you know, you got to add to the team. So if we have any queens out there, you feel?
Yeah. No, we're going to do some really great stuff moving forward. I think we're doing Dr. Seuss.
Really?
For this next one. Yeah, I'm just going to do Dr. Seuss ones. And I think I try to have, like, a sub-theme, like I said, and I think this one's just, like, accepting yourself. Dr. Seuss wrote some, like, really great books about that. What was, you know, like, the Tale of Gertrude McFuzz was...
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah!
Yeah.
She's like, I want the biggest, baddest tail, and...
Yeah.
She found out that it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to let her do the things that she wants to do, and you just got to learn to be yourself. And then the Sneetches, and they have, like, these stars on their bellies, and this capitalist comes through, and he's like, I'm just going to, like, make it so I'm making a bunch of money off of your body insecurity. Like, that's what the story's about.
It is.
And, like, can you not see that in today's world?
Like, for real, 100% it reflects.
Yeah.
It reflects. That's crazy. So yeah, so March 21st will be your next one. Do you have, like, social media?
Yeah, girl.
What you got? Shout it out.
So if you want to do reading time stuff on Facebook and Instagram, that's what I got. You just search Reading Time with the Queens, at Reading Time with the Queens, all one word. You can find it. You can find it
online. Yeah, social media is not that hard. You got this.
You got it.
You got this. That is so interesting. So one thing I kind of want to talk about, getting a little bit more fun stuff.
Cool.
You know, not so heavy. Do you watch YouTube at all?
Oh, girl.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because YouTube's 90% of my content of what I watch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's cheap. It's
free. Like, you know. But I was curious. Do you watch any YouTubers like Shane Dawson or James Charles, Jeffree Star? Do you watch any of them?
I don't. I'm
Really?
aware of them. I think I'll watch like clips here and there.
So what do you
not
normally
like
watch?
fans. Whatever comes across my feed.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know who I really like is Natalie Wynn?
Okay.
Oh, talk about drag.
Yes.
She's a trans woman, but occasionally she'll just put on these ridiculous costumes, and then her content is all just like talking about really complex. They're just really complex video essays about social systems.
Right.
And like, I think one that she put out recently was all about cancel culture. I found and she addressed James Charles in that one.
Really?
She was my goodness, she went really in because she was in the process of getting canceled, like right before that.
It was heavy, yeah.
Because for dumb stuff.
It was,
and we're not going to go into the details of it, but I really found it was like a motion picture length video essay of her talking about cancel culture, which a lot of people don't know about, but they will recognize if they watch the video. Like, they can see it in the internet happening all over.
Yeah.
And it was
at the same time, any famous person or celebrity has a platform that's based normally on fans. You know, fans are paying somebody that income comes to them, and they do something wrong. Yeah. Something wrong in the eye, and it's over. Cancel them. Stop watching them. Get them off YouTube. And it's...
And I think that I definitely participated in that when I was just being a person. Mm-hmm. And... it kind of like softened my views about that because I think that we should give people room to grow.
Yeah, I think so too. 1,000%. It's like, the biggest thing, one of the biggest examples that was pretty big. It was when Kevin Hart had those tweets. Remember I can't remember. I want to say like 10 years ago. Don't quote me on that. But he had those bad tweets about 10 years earlier. And it's like, that was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, whoa.
Well, he's put in a position where he has to like defend that, and then he gets kicked. Well, he was supposed to host something.
He was supposed to host the Oscars.
And they just kicked him out.
Yeah, they were like, oh, nope, those tweets you made 10 years ago. You didn't think 40 times back then? Yeah, you're out.
I would need to research it again. But even then, I couldn't make like a value judgment on that. But yeah, no, that's the type of thing that happens. You're right.
They dig through. They look for something to ruin your entire career. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many tweets and things you have to do. And it's the same thing with like PewDiePie.
I know.
It's insane.
I could go back through my tweets and find some stuff I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
I think we all could.
Oh, yeah. I think, oh man, the Facebook things I was posting at a young age.
I feel like Facebook knows that too, because they will show you things that you posted in the past, and you're like,
8 years ago, you're like, this is online, delete this.
Yeah. Delete.
Yeah, I have the exact same thing. Some of the, like the most personal things, I'm like, this is public.
Yeah.
Delete that. Yeah, cancel culture, it's tough and it is aggressive. It's not just YouTube community, it's all the way up to celebs and famous people. And the whole thing going on with like Johnny Depp and Amber Rose, I think, whole back and forth of cancel the they were like, cancel the Caribbean, get Johnny Depp out of it. But now they're like, cancel Amber Rose, get her out of Aquaman. And it's crazy that the community,
like both of them are gone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like the whole community or the whole online internet can just. They do one thing or make a mistake or whatever. They have the power to cancel something.
But even then, like, think about, like, I think Amber Rose and Johnny Depp can probably come back from that. Imagine like a small content creator just getting caught up in something that, and maybe they're just starting out and they do need to learn some stuff. And
they make
like we're not giving them room for that. And I feel like as like a person, it's important to be able to show that you learned from something, and it's so much braver to admit that you did something wrong and then say, I'm going to do better, than sit there and defend yourself.
Exactly.
But even then, like with the whole cancel culture thing, it's like we don't get, like I keep saying, like I haven't done all the research on that, so I can't comment on it.
Right.
I feel like that's a lot of people should do, because you can't comment on stuff when you just in that
read
video.
An article.
Yeah. When you if you watch Natalie's video, she says, like there's this obfuscation of like something happens, and then all of a sudden through the internet process, you get to this person is a racist, and like this like very like aggressive things get said, and you don't know anything about the original accusation.
Yeah.
So I can't, it's like...
Yeah. It's
like, do your research before you start making comments on it. I'm not saying that people aren't, like, should be blocked from criticism, obviously.
Right. Exactly. And I think that's just it, it's a lot better to go to somebody and be like, do you understand what you did wrong? Rather than like, nope, don't give them a chance, don't give them a platform, cancel them, they're done, they're out.
Yeah.
Get them out of that TV show, cancel their career, stop their earnings on YouTube, whatever it may be. Stop them rather than giving that plot. And there's bad people out there. There's people that have had platforms and done not so great things, and like it's hard though, because then it's like, who decides decides that this is wrong enough for them to cancel this person's YouTube channel or this person pull them out of this show? I guess it's us. And then sometimes, like we said,
that's a big power.
It is huge, and that's what happens is because, like you said, the small creator, somebody that makes these little mistakes or something that's like, oh, like I made this mistake, but I won't do it again. They're like, oh, sorry, you're not gonna get the chance.
Yeah.
You're done.
How did we end up talking about cancel culture?
I don't know, but just go off.
Have you seen YouTube? I'm like, yes, I have.
Yes, YouTube. Yeah, so that's what I was just curious because, like, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Yeah, cancel culture is crazy.
I'll talk about that all day, but...
Yeah, big facts. But when I was asking about YouTube and I was asking all those YouTubers...
Is that what you're saying, big facts?
Big facts. Big facts. Big truths. Very truth.
I have to say, I was listening to your podcast and I was like, what is he saying?
What is he saying? Yeah, I don't know. I just yell a lot of the time.
That's not what I thought you were saying.
Big... I don't know.
We're going to go past that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big facts. I like that. I'm going to use that.
I don't even know where I got that. I don't know. But yeah. So what I was asking about YouTube because I was curious. Where did you learn to do your makeup?
Oh,
That's where I was trying to
that's where
get
you're
to.
going
Yeah,
to.
that's what I was going to. But Cat's Clothes, that's a great topic too. So I mean, whatever we got.
Talking about makeup. Oh golly Moses. I have a very harrowing makeup story. When I was in the little shop, my I call her my drag mom, Stephanie. She was also one of the duo girls, and
Awesome.
she taught me kind of the basics. But I was doing very subdued makeup back then,
Right.
because I was trying to fit in with all these like cis women, and I don't know. I just started. I feel like makeup something you have to figure out what works for you.
Right.
When I would watch makeup videos, I would get tips, but let's talk about this. I feel like drag culture. Everybody I feel like there's a standard that everyone's held up to, but I feel like if anyone really meets it, their makeup looks very middle of the road. If that makes sense, like. I really enjoy watching like makeup artists who have kind of paved their own way. Yes, understanding like tips from YouTube videos and learning things from other drag queens, which I absolutely did.
Right.
But I feel like there's plenty of drag queens that would read my makeup to filth and have. And it's part of the culture.
Right.
But as far as like this YouTube standard, like there is this like YouTube drag standard where people have to do certain things. They have to block their brows. They have to like contour a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't buy into it. I have like the Cali Je character that I've come up with, and I like deviate from it sometimes for one thing or another, but like pretty much it's the same eye every time.
Right.
And it's the same busted brow every single time. It's the same lips. I tried to do like a cut crease for my jaw, and I did not like that.
No.
Today I was like, oh, I'm gonna try something cool because I'm gonna be filmed today, and
Mm-hmm.
we're not going back there for a little bit. Anyways,
That's awesome.
so anyways, to answer your question, just around.
Just around. Just kind of experience it around. That's what I was curious of because there's so much change that's happened through this YouTube. James Charles is a great example. It's just male, and he, I don't think I guess he does drag. I think I've seen it a few times, but most of his videos, like, it's just, him being full male and dressing in makeup and kind of interesting. So, like, my question to you, do you think that would be drag? Is it kind of like drag is kind of this overarching thing, or is you just think males can identify as like just putting makeup on?
That's a good question. Male? That's a good question. Well, as far as like identifying as one thing or another, like, I don't know, like James Charles, does he identify as a boy?
Male, yeah.
Male, right? There's lots of people who are like gender fluid or gender nonconforming who like put on makeup but don't identify either way, and so there's that whole umbrella of things. But as far as like expression goes and like putting on makeup, I don't know if everybody who does that would really be appreciative.
One of them.
I think that I don't think they'd be appreciative of being labeled a drag queen or whatever. Or maybe they would. Just because that might just be like them.
Right.
They're presenting. Well, okay, so RuPaul always says you're born naked and the rest is drag, and like I think that that's just speaking to this idea that when we get up every day, whatever we put on, that's our drag.
Right.
That's drag because we're deciding how we're going to present ourselves to the world.
Right.
Right. But necessarily, like, considering yourself a drag artist, maybe not.
Right.
Just because, like James Charles is like a beauty guru.
Yeah.
I think that's his
Beautiful man.
main thing. Yeah. He's like, I really like makeup and I identify this way, and this is just who I am.
Right.
And I don't wear this much makeup in real life, and this is very much a costume for me. And I do performances because of it. And so I know that's kind of the fun thing about makeup, though, is there's lots of different contexts. Whatever. Yeah.
So like, with you, because I asked you kind of, because I know you kind of separate, you have your life and you have like this performance, this artist, this persona, like this person that you like to be and become, do you identify, I don't mean to get too personal, but do you think you identify as a male and you are gay and you do this thing as a side, or like, how would you say that?
That's a really, that's a question. I think publicly I've identified as a guy for a really long time, and I think I am just I'm always I feel like it's a very healthy thing to always be exploring your gender and exploring how you relate to the world. Recently I realized, so they were printing my name and thing. The ISJ made a really big point of like printing my legal name every single time I was in the news, which
Yeah, I
was
saw
like,
that. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm like Miss Cali for this, and I kind of understand why they're doing it because, like I'm the citizen Joseph Crupper or whatever. But, you know, they refer to me as the Pocatello man who put on blah 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 blah. And I asked them, I'm like, can you not say that? Can you say like Pocatello resident? Because like for some reason I preferred the gender neutral term.
I got you.
But he's like, do you want me to use he, him pronouns? And I was like, thank you for asking. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. So
That's
it's
awesome.
like, you know, I think at the moment, I'm identifying as a man in real life, but
I got you. Yeah, no.
we're all open to, I think, that anecdote, I feel like says being a man isn't only one thing.
Right.
Like, or being like a masculine presenting person
Yeah.
isn't only one thing. I don't even think that I'm that masculine presenting when I'm
Right.
not in drag. So it's, you know, there's just a whole spectrum of
There is, yeah.
personhood.
Yeah, and I meant to like ask you like a traditional male type thing, you know. Like
right.
What?
Like,
you know
what is
I'm
a
saying?
traditional male?
I don't know. I guess there's a lot of terms you'd have to come up with. When I think traditional male, just like a male with a penis. I don't know. I guess there's, you know, like you said, there's a lot of things like there's gender neutral. This is my thing too, is like you are your own person and how you want to be identified is how you want, because I think of it as a way is, you know, it's your first day of school and someone says, you know, like, is this your name? You're like, you know what, my name's Gage, but I actually like to be called G or something, you know? And you're like, and they're like, you know what, I will, like, if that's what you prefer, I will call you that. Any normal person would be like, yes, like, I will call you what you asked to be named. And I love that you said that someone asked you, is like, you know, what do you prefer? And I should have done the same thing as what do you prefer? Because whatever you do.
You did. You said she, her pronouns is what I said when I'm in drag. So you did.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. You're a lot farther along than you think you are.
Good. Yeah, I just know it's the media likes to make it very, I think, very complicated and very, you know, this is what it is, and you get so many people that just get angry, like, oh, they get to decide, and it's like, well, what if I just call you Jared, even though your name's Jake? Like, well, my name's Jared, not Jake. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna call you Jake because you're Jake. And they're like, no, my name's fucking Jared.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so you get, like, what you are is what you are.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you know, so like, to me, it's like, however you come in here and you say you want to be announced, like, here she is. But no, like, however you say you want to be identified, or however you, like you said, the pronouns, things like that, I'll do my best to try to use that, because I want to make you feel the most comfortable. Yeah. I want to make you feel you. I want you to be able to be you in this world.
That's all that people are asking for. Just respect.
Respect.
Yeah. And kindness. And the willingness to try and make the world a better place, just in that like small way of like respecting somebody that's close to you.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's say 1,000 times, I can't say it enough, is like, we're all imperfect. We have so many imperfections in this world, and all we're trying to do is to be the best human beings. We should be trying to be the best human beings we can be. But with these imperfections, we need to identify them and grow on them and make them perfect. And that's one of the things why with this whole drag thing, I'm not the one to jump the gun and be like, that's wrong, that's right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, let's learn, let's research. I did my research. I reached out to you and I was like, you know, would you be willing to like help me and others learn from this and learn from this experience and learn from this culture a little bit, so we can have a better understanding? Because again, we both mentioned that when people are angry or scared or have fear, they jump to anger. They just like, it's kind of like a shield to them because they're just scared a lot of the time, you know? And so it's like, when I even talk to my family, they're like, yeah, I'd take him reading with the queen. What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, I guess nothing, you know, because some people just know. They're like so open-minded. They know how to just accept and love people as people.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
No, I like that. There's someone was telling me last night, they were like, they were doing their day job and they came across this like big burly man, and they're just like, did you hear about Reading Time with the Queens? I think it's a great program.
Oh, no way.
Like,
yo.
It's like, thanks, dude, that I don't know.
Yo, the love. You know?
People make a point of telling me nowadays like some like nice things that they've heard, and it makes me happy. I'm like,
that's good.
Like, we do have the capacity to love and respect each other.
We
like I said, like we're like very kind community if we can choose to be.
Exactly. And it's quick. Like, it's insane that, like, when you feel like one of your own, like, I don't even know you, right? Like I said, like we had a couple interactions on campus, but never really, like, got to meet each other. And, like, it's crazy to see when, you know, when someone can make a petition to try to stop things. And it does okay in a way, but then you're like, you know, against something, trying to stop something like we were talking about. But then someone else makes a petition to say, hey, let these two consenting parties be their two consenting parties and do what they want to do. And holy shit.
Yeah.
Did that petition grow so fast? The love, the comments, I was like, this is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I thought it was nice. You know, as a petition goes, I don't know who they were going to deliver it to, but as like a gesture of nicety.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, yes, thank you for... I mean, they just really wanted to show...
Their support.
And I appreciate that.
Exactly. I appreciate that too. And I don't really know what it is. It's not like 1,000 signatures and we're going to ban cocaine from everywhere. Yeah. And it's like, who... Like, okay, with that, like, who do you show
It's
that
like 1,000
to?
signatures and we still support reading time.
Yeah. It's like I guess it's just kind of a love bundle, kind of showing everything.
Yep.
To close this out, I want to ask you if a parent was considering bringing a kid to reading time with the Queens, well, and they're like, you know, like what's it about? Like, what would you tell them? Like, how would you talk to them to be like?
I tell them to come early because we're gonna run out of space.
Okay, there you go, yo. There's the tea. That's the real tea.
I don't know. It depends on what questions they have. I did have someone that messaged me and they're like, I'm a little concerned about the content. And like I said, like I'm like, you know, we post the books that we're doing. I can't guarantee the songs because those change from time to time.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Like, what are the songs going to say that the books aren't? You know, just like do your research. And if you don't feel comfortable with it, like you don't have to bring them. But like, we're here.
Right.
We also like live stream it most of the time.
Oh, cool.
So if someone wanted to just like...
On the same socials?
Yeah, on Facebook. So
awesome.
People can check that out and see. We've done the last 2 of this. So like January and February, both completely on online. So people can check it out and see exactly what we did.
That's fantastic. Like, I don't know who's doing all, like, you again, your team, you and, what was their names again?
Just one more time. Zay and Miss Barb and my friend Rowan, my friend Jody, my friend Aaron, my friend Keisha.
A ton.
Yeah, we're all doing stuff.
I, for one, I love it. Like, what I'm getting here as a degree is marketing and all these things. And I love the way that you guys are doing this whole thing. Like you say, we live stream it. That is fantastic to hear.
Yeah.
Like, that is, because it's like, you know, like you said, if a parent was considering or just had questions,
we're just doing like I mean, it's so much more fun being in person.
Right.
But like, you know, it's like a free event that we're putting on. So like, why wouldn't we if we could?
Yeah, exactly. And that way they can check it out and they're like, oh, yo, this is awesome. And
it's not like the best video quality. It's literally like Barb sitting in the back with her phone.
No, with their phone. Like, yo, it counts. It counts. You have to have the phone holder, you know?
She's great at that.
She's good. That's awesome. I want to thank you so much.
Yes,
Cali,
thank you
for coming on. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot. I don't mean to like bombard you with, you know, but there's questions for me personally that I can take on forward, and I hope other people as well. And it's great to hear about the social media. If you have questions, you have your person, you know, you have the social media, you have the live stream, you have the date. Check it out.
It'll be fun.
It'll be
a
fun.
wonderful time.
Thank you again so much for coming on the podcast. I love you all. Have a good day. Be blessed. Be the best human being you possibly be. Peace out.